I forgot my friend's name, and it took me more than 1 hour to remember. And I didn't expect what happened next. Now, I'm 62 and retired. My name's Steve, and I live in Toronto. And this channel is dedicated to my parents who both died, unfortunately, from Alzheimer's. I don't want that to happen to me. So when I forgot my friend's name, it made me nervous. I had a strategy, though, to try to resolve it. At first, it didn't work, to be honest. I went through the alphabet, A to Z, right? And I went through it a second time. I still couldn't figure out what is my friend's name. Now, he's not a close friend, but he's someone who I used to see pretty well every single day for a couple of years during the time when I was looking after my father during his illness. Now, I don't have his phone number, I don't have his email, but I was going back to the old neighborhood. I thought to myself, I'll stop for a coffee. That's where I used to see this friend. And on the way, I was going crazy. I could not remember his name. I went through A to Z. I did it a second time, going through as many names as possible. Couldn't get it. After a while, I got nervous. What's happening to me? Then I thought, sometimes it's easy to forget names, and I think that can happen at any age. But regardless, I was agonizing over this. I narrowed it down to C and D. I kind of felt that was his name, somewhere in there. Couldn't get it, was giving up. As I kept driving, suddenly, D. And then what? Doug, okay. And I was right. His name was Doug. It came back to me, finally. What a relief. At the same time, I was a little bit nervous. Am I getting early symptoms of Alzheimer's? I then remembered his last name. I thought, that's cool. And now I remember his last name. So I kept driving, and I went back to my old neighborhood. It's kind of in a nice area where I grew up in the early years, not far from the beaches area of Toronto. And I went for some nice walks in the parks and along the boardwalk, even saw where my parents first met, I think back in 1948, this little dance club or community club. But anyways, I finally made it to this cafe where I used to see my friend. Got out of my car looking forward to seeing Doug, but when I walked in, there was no Doug. He was not there. That was the usual kind of time where I would see him. He spent a lot of time there because he was retired as well. But after all my agonizing, no Doug. Now, as far as losing our memory, I think it's normal. It's arbitrary to remember names. So I'm not that worried about that, but it was a surprise when I couldn't think of it because I really did know the guy. Now, after that, I thought about another story. About a couple weeks ago, I saw my best friend. He owns a magazine. And it's a commercial magazine, so his advertisers are not well-known companies. He's had it for 30 years, more than that. About 20 years or so, I remember talking to him about his business because I had my own business as well. He told me about his main advertiser, I guess his top advertiser on his back cover, always consistent. We never talked about it again. It's been at least 20 years since we even talked about that situation. But the other day, I guess 2 weeks ago, I remembered right away the name of his advertiser. He was shocked. He was surprised. I guess I was shocked and surprised too. It shows me that, okay, maybe my memory is not going. Maybe forgetting Doug's name is just something that happens. You know, it reminds me of watching television shows. My wife, she can remember everything, it seems. I watch a program, sometimes they release it more than a year later, and I'll forget the story, the characters. I always have to ask my wife to remind me what's going on. It makes me nervous. Well, when something happens to your parents like mine and going through their Alzheimer's with them, it makes you nervous. Now, luckily, I don't think I have this issue, but what do you think? Do you sometimes go through what I do and forget things? Is it just normal forgetting? Is it an early sign of dementia? I don't think so, but tell me in the comments. Maybe there's a funny story or something that's happened to you. Or do you get afraid, or do you just shrug it off as something that happens when we get a little bit older? Now, I am dedicating this channel to my parents. I do feel that staying sharp and independent is so crucial as we get older. So bear with me as I produce more episodes. I'm learning how to edit and how to produce. Every single episode is about staying sharp and independent. It's about retirement and How do we deal with that? It's about staying physically strong, mentally strong. I'm doing what I can. For example, mentally, I am learning Spanish. I'm using an app called Duolingo. It's not easy for me, but I like the challenge. In fact, my dad used to always say how much I love challenges, and I do. So I enjoy Duolingo, and it's also a benefit if and when I travel to a Spanish-speaking country. On top of that, this channel itself, it's a challenge for me. I'm enjoying it. It's my purpose to help you and me to age better, to live not necessarily longer lives, that would be great, but to live healthier lives, to be sharp and independent. So don't just get older, get better. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Next episode, I'll continue to talk about issues related to retirement, aging, healthy aging, right? Living a good life. That's what this is all about. I'll see you next time.